You've got to love how things come together. Pure Pro Wrestling once again came back into town and it got people buzzing. Some names very familiar. In fact, a lot of names are familiar. A lot of them that I'm truly familiar on a one-on-one basis. Some things to get out of the way. The Gentleman's Wrestling Club, or whatever they call themselves, LA Lumen, Zondo, aka Z-Man, even though really you're looking at the real Z-Man right here at birth, and Kenneth Riddle, who looks like a combination between Dominic Mysterio and Ravishing Rick Rude. They snuck away with the tag team titles again, away from Two Fly, Iso Rico, and Apollo Prime. Enjoy that time while you can, guys, because Two Fly is going to be coming back at you before you know it. But they're not the only other names I'm familiar with, because some of them, oh boy, y'all are going to love this. Alpha Ray Adams. I remember seeing him wrestle in town for the first time, and Colin James ended up snapping his arm. Wish we could see that happen a little more often. But Alpha Ray Adams, oh boy, do I got a bone to pick with you, dude. Because back in December 2024, you guys jumped Father Time, the man who had won the King of the Castle trophy. The very same trophy that makes you #1 contender to the PPW Michigan State Heavyweight Championship. But then Alpha Ray Adams, Bishop, and Big Tom all decide to jump in and run off with the trophy. And what happens a little bit later during the intermission while everybody's trying to relax a little bit? Alpha Ray Adams decides to come with me with the trophy, and he's got his eyes on this. And he's offering to trade the trophy for my most prized possession. This very same spinner belt that I've had for the last 10 years now, which is going to be going to the grave with me. He wanted to pawn off something he didn't even win for my most prized possession. So of course I said no, and reminded him like, hey, possession is 9/10 of the law. Which is like, oh man, why you gotta bring the law into this? Because I'm being factual here. Then you get back to this past October. You're about to go one-on-one with Black Diamond Jack Price. And on video, you're talking smack to me, be like, hey, I remember you. Oh, I remember you too, dude. Because you're talking smack to me and trying to remind me about this whole thing. Then you're trying to say, oh, that tripod your camera is standing on, it's stupid. Very same camera tripod that is holding up this camera right now matches the color scheme of not only my jacket, but also the kind of attire you choose to wear. And unlike you, my tripod was still standing by the end of your match against Jack Price, because during that night while you were busy yeeting, Jack Price was busy beating you. Well, you gotta love to see how things turn around, huh? You try to talk smack with the champ, guess what? Bad things keep on happening, because you're not the only one that found that out. Then, of course, you missed in December, which was rather odd, because you knew I was going to bring this up again, but then you just get back to what happened recently, because Father Time, he issued the Father Lock Challenge, similar to the Master Lock Challenge for anybody who's familiar with Chris Masters, to see who can break the hold. And you, along with your buddies from Obsidian, decided to step up and get in Father Time's face, the man who is the current reigning defending Pure Pro Wrestling Michigan State Heavyweight Champion. And you got Big Dom there, the most recent King of the Castle trophy winner, the man who won that trophy, but not you, Ray, because once again, you failed. Sure, you may be holding Dom's trophy and everything, but you're the guy who holds the gold, but can never win it or own it. Just kind of like always a bridesmaid, never a bride. So you take the hold, you can't get out of it, so your boys jump Father Time up until Rhino comes in. And I'm surprised you were able to find your legs afterwards, Ray, because Rhino split you in half. And then, of course, I know you and I were going back and forth prior to all this on social media and everything. And guess what? I'm not the kind of guy that would just talk smack on social media and not say it to your face. Because after this happened, when we were having another intermission midway through the show, I came straight to your face and told you how it is. You want to talk smack with the champ, and once again, oh, karma slaps you hard in the face again. You gotta love when that happens. And then, of course, your buddy Big Dom wants to try to run his mouth too and try to get in my face, almost wanting to desecrate this as well. Good luck, Big Dom. I even stood up straight to your face and told you how it is too. But that's not all. Because we saw the Midwest Misfits win the trophy for the whole Ricky Morton Tag Team Invitational. Congrats to you guys, by the way. Nothing but love for the Midwest Misfits. Everybody else, the feeling varies. But then, if you've been on this channel, you may have just seen the recent video, because I've been going back and forth with the upper echelon. Alright? Jake Wilder, aka the Poodle Perm Man. Danny Astro, who calls himself the Galaxy Collector or the Rocket Man. I have a feeling his favorite show of all time is probably Little Einstein singing the theme song. And Cody Manny, who I'll get to you in just a bit. But you also have their manager, Jack Kelly. The only professionally licensed manager in the state of Michigan for professional wrestling. You guys, oh boy, we remember that October show just this past year that I mentioned a bit ago when talking about Ray again, haven't we? Because you guys were holding a mock funeral service in honor of the career of Mr. Dylan Knight, the very man who was retired in a match against Danny Astro just last year. So what do you guys do with the casket there? You guys are holding around tissues, acting like, oh, we're sad, we're grieving about this, and y'all are throwing your damn tissues at me, using me like a waste bin. Why am I not surprised? So of course you guys are acting like, oh, we're sad, we're grieving everything, which is complete nonsense. You guys don't have any sympathy in your body. And then you go back to December then after this. Because I brought a sign that got Jake's attention. In fact, it also got Jack Kelly's attention too, because he's the one that brought it to Jake in the first place. A sign that said, hey, Jake Wilder has a restraining order against him courtesy of my mother. Because you keep saying, oh, I'm your mom's favorite wrestler. Guess what? I'm your mom's favorite wrestling fan. And maybe more. You never know. I could be your daddy. I mean, you can't take me tomorrow to try to disprove that or anything, so good luck with that. And then you get to what just happened this past Saturday. Oh boy, did I take things to another level. Because I had signs yet again, and I remember the reactions. Because if you've been on this channel, just saw this past Tuesday, you might have seen how this was. Because I had another sign for Jake that said that he was on probation for stalking my mom. What did he do? He ripped the sign in half, which I still have with me, by the way. Never got rid of it. But then you saw I had more signs after that, and you're like, oh, screw you, I hate you. Feelings mutual, dude. And then you have your buddy, your manager, Jack Kelly. He keeps loving to run his mouth and everything like that. And I think I finally got one up on him. Because I made a sign that looks like the Monopoly Man from that chance card for when you have bankruptcy and everything. If you have not seen that card, I'm sure you can look it up on like social media or even a search engine if you have the options out there. And I drew it on purple to represent him, calling him the Monopoly Man, Jack Kelly. And what happened when Jack saw it? He was temporarily speechless. A man of many words. A man of many words, very sharp and quick to respond and everything, was stunned for a few seconds as he was trying to think of a response to it before just suddenly saying that he's not the Monopoly Man. Notice that for a moment. Jack Kelly, a man of many words, was temporarily stunned silent from somebody who didn't even have to utter a word at him. Ha! Brilliant, huh? You want to keep thinking that you're better than myself, Jack Kelly? Well, I just got one up on you. And I know you're having a hard time holding it together during the last show back in December when I drew another poster looking like you of a toilet with a purple top hat on it. Yeah, the champ doesn't forget. Then, of course, Danny Astro, you're still going to be eventually on the list. But right now, out of everybody in the upper echelon, my next target, the person that's got my eye now, is Cody Manning, the big deal. Former Cruiserweight champion, former tag team champion of the upper echelon. Because let's not forget, after the show, there was a bit of a gathering afterwards, which I took part in, and you had the audacity to remind me in a haunting way about what happened years ago with a certain incident with another wrestler that used to work in Ring of Honor that I mentioned on my podcast and everything. That's just trying to get off my chest and finally say that, hey, this happened, everything, and I don't feel good about it. And you had to remind me that, hey, everybody in the locker room knows about this incident from all that time ago. Being like, oh, everybody knows you for it. Thanks for reminding me. Something that ate at me for years. Years. Okay? I remember when that incident happened, and when I finally was able to talk to the wrestler and finally get closure on all of it and make peace and all that, because that was eating me to my very core. But oh no, let's remind the champ about what happened all those years ago. Like he wasn't haunted by about it enough, eating in the inner part of his inner heart, in his soul, deep down. Well, Cody, get ready, because I'm going to be messing with you too as well, just like I did with your buddies before. Things may be like equal on everything after the tissue incident, at least when it comes to Jack and Jake. Maybe not. You never know. But you're not off the hook either. Because while I may have gone even with them and everything after what just happened, things aren't even with you, dude. It's like you keep calling yourself the big deal. The only big thing about you is your ego. There's nothing else big about you, trust me. Danny Astro, eventually, you'll get your comeuppance too, because let's not forget, you took part in the tissue incident as well. that's on video, but you guys all out there just want to keep acting like, oh, we don't remember this, we don't remember that. I remember everything. I've got everything on video, and I got a pretty good memory with all this stuff. So upper echelon, get ready because you guys are done for. Because I remember I even talked to Jack Kelly a little bit this on social media too before I close this off. Where like he saw that poster and everything, it's like, what? And I'm saying it's signed by the champ, and he's like, what kind of champ are you exactly? I'm the kind of champ that makes you guys regret messing with me. Because between myself and every single member of the upper echelon, out of all you guys there, none of y'all are champions right now. Think about that. You guys who say you are the best of the business. In fact, you are the business, yet none of you are holding gold. But one man is. Yours truly. And Big Dom, you ain't off the hook either after what you try to do to this and one of my other belts before as well during the show. I don't care how big you are, dude. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Gentlemen, see you coming up back in May and everything. Because I can guarantee y'all are going to see me again. Peace out, everybody.